A former Twitcher turned YouTuber recently figured out a way to scam using cryptocurrency $500,000 out of his audience. And unlike very many scams that are reported on and covered on YouTube, where we speculate on whether or not it's a scam, where people can come out and defend the guy behind the scam, this guy basically just admitted it in a live interview that he didn't have to do, and he's not even ashamed of it.
You want to keep the money that's not yours, that you took from the project, even though you failed to deliver.
I mean, I'm not really sure what you want me to say, but yeah.
I'm trying to get you to return the money because it's 100% still available and you could do that.
Yeah, I could give the money back. It is within my power. But I'm going to look out for myself and not do that. I don't know what else to say. That's just the most honest answer.
So we're going to talk about this. We're going to cover this on the other side. But before we talk about your financial security, we need to talk about your ISP security, Virtual Shield transition. If you think technology today is bad for your online privacy, it's about to get a lot worse with this push towards virtual reality. As we progress closer and closer to VR, big tech is going to be able to monitor everything you see, you feel, and you do on the internet, even more so than they do right now. This is one of the reasons why I don't go online without using Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield can protect you from these sophisticated tracking mechanisms that big tech is using and developing further into the future. And it's pretty awesome. If you want that thing where you can go to another country virtually and go into Netflix or anything like that to get around region locks, they also got you on point with that. If you go to virtualshield.com/justice, you can get 50% off for your lifetime subscription. That's virtualshield.com/justice. Protect yourself in the real world and in the upcoming virtual world. Recently, in a video I made about Pokimane and her abuse of the DMCA system, I talked about an attitude that is very prevalent among Twitchers that essentially views the world as a zero-sum game. And I talked about how this could be indicative of the fact that on Twitch, it kind of is a zero-sum game because it's a live streaming platform. And if somebody is watching somebody else, they're not watching you. Therefore, everybody's your direct competitor. Everybody's taking money out of your pocket if you view the world in that way. Well, today we're going to be talking about a guy called Ice Poseidon. Somebody I never heard of, but apparently at one point in history, this guy was the #1 Twitch streamer or something like that. Again, not really up to date on the Twitches or anything like that. But he was banned from Twitch and he moved to YouTube, this platform where you're likely viewing this video on right now. And on YouTube, he kind of continued doing the same things that he was doing on Twitch up until July of last year, where he decided to launch a cryptocurrency called CX Coin. He got his fans to buy into CX Coin. And of course, like many of these other cryptocurrency scams, he immediately drew the money out in this pump and dump scheme and robbed $500,000 from his audience. Now, to be clear, while there is some standard speculation related to this story, for instance, coincidentally, right around the launch of this coin, when all the members of his audience bought into this coin, this guy bought a brand new Tesla and made a video about it, dating it to that time. So that's the speculative component that people normally see that got people's antennas alerted that this guy was ripping them off in terms of this cryptocurrency. But we don't even need any of that. We don't even need to talk about any of that because guess what? This guy basically admitted that he took all the money out of it, or a huge chunk of the money out of it, and he's of the opinion that he has no obligation to return that money. He has no obligation not to scam his followers, and he's basically going to keep the money. Now, overall, I believe it was reported that about $500,000 went into this scam cryptocurrency, and he extracted about half of that. Now, I'm going to be relying heavily on the reporting of a YouTuber called CoffeeZilla, who I never heard of up until this story. But the thing is, once I heard about this story, everybody said this was the go-to person, and he actually has the interview of Ice Poseidon where he pins the whole fiasco on members of his audience trusting him, basically saying that he's got the money, he's not going to give them back the money, and that is what it is.
Yeah, I could give the money back. It is within my power. But I'm going to look out for myself and not do that. I don't know what else to say. That's just the most honest answer.
And honestly, this is not unexpected behavior from people on the internet, from so-called social media influencers, people who embrace the label of influencers, because a lot of people that are on these platforms unfortunately don't have a long-term plan. They're all about short-term game. They're all about making as much money as possible and then bailing out of the system, pulling the cord, and then seeing what happens. And it's really unfortunate because people invest a lot of their time and emotional energy and their literal money into these creators, that these people think that they're better than the average person and that they can just take advantage of people. And they're so bold about it, they'll say it quite publicly on the internet, which leads me to believe that this needs to be said to everybody out there. Be careful with your money. Don't pledge your money to creators based on false promises, because trust me, they're not delivering on those promises. Those grandiose ideas, don't buy into them. And especially if it's something like a cryptocurrency where we've seen numerous multiple pump and dump scams, and they're so easy and the incentives are so bad for the person in control of it, that this obviously is a thing that could happen. And by the way, there's a lot of speculation about whether or not this was a thing that he was launching legitimately, and then maybe he thought it was going to be a bad idea, so he pulled his money out, cashed out. It was a bad thing to do, but no harm, no foul. But the thing is, we know for a fact that that is not the case, because again, CoffeeZilla apparently messaged him at the inception of this idea to check whether or not this was going to be a scam, to kind of verify it. And rather than actually give complete, accurate information to this YouTuber, what Ice Poseidon ended up doing was actually to incorporate people like CoffeeZilla and other people who would normally be skeptical into this scam, so that way they can give him cover to do what he was ultimately going to do. Now, your question probably is, how did he do that?
Ice Poseidon was working incredibly hard behind the scenes, which is something I need you guys to understand. He was contacting people like myself and pleading with us that he was just joking back then, and he was serious about this coin. He wasn't about to pull off a scam like Save the Kids. Ice Poseidon repeatedly told skeptics that he couldn't rug this coin if he wanted to. He had locked all his money up in a smart contract. He told me that in DMs. He said, "Don't worry, no rug here. All the money is locked." Lol. And look, I have to admit, I was busy at the time with some other investigations, and I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
And essentially, he made a bunch of false promises, including one that said that there was a contractual thing with the crypto wallet that was being utilized that would essentially either literally prevent him from extracting money from the wallet or legally prevent him from extracting money from the wallet. Again, not an expert on this. And in order to let people check up on what he's doing, he gave out addresses that were allegedly related to these wallets, but that turned out to not be the case. The money was never actually going there. They were going into his personal account.
He even gave me his wallet addresses and told me to hold him accountable. He wasn't going to do anything shady. And everyone sort of felt like, okay. So with my free time, I joined the CX Coin Telegram and started tracing back the wallets that Ice Poseidon had given me so transparently. And pretty soon I found out that, well, he gave me the wrong crypto wallets. Whoops. He gave me the DXAO wallet instead of his personal wallet, which didn't tell me anything. For example, one of those things he didn't tell me was the fact that he took out $200,000 from the liquidity pool at the very beginning.
And this was all a giant setup for him to withdraw the money. And by the way, he withdrew $250,000 almost immediately in this scam. And it's just ridiculous in every way. And it should be criminal. If you did these pump and dump schemes with regular stocks, the SEC would be on your case right away. And I know they treat cryptocurrencies almost like they are assets, like they're capital investments. So theoretically, hypothetically, I'm not sure if the laws are up to date. This should be illegal. You shouldn't be able to do a pump and dump scam on your audience. Yet these scams are so prevalent in crypto, it's absolutely ridiculous. The market manipulation is off the charts, and it's because people have realized that if you can garner a whole bunch of people into your system to do this buy-in, then very few people can cash out. And by the way, there's entire Reddit forums, there's entire companies set up around this business model of extracting money from somebody just by tricking them, and it's absolutely ridiculous. You shouldn't have these giant scams in the marketplace. That's not how this should work.
I invest in a lot of the like shit coin, like a lot of the you put money in and then you sell in like 20 minutes when it pumps. You're telling me I could create a CX coin and then people could buy it because I could say that the community is super strong, and then I could sell it in 10 seconds and make $10 million. What the am I doing?
I'm as free market capitalist as almost anybody, but this is not free market capitalism. This is fraud. And the basics of free market capitalism is that you have some restrictions on fraud. This guy is selling people false assets that he knows are not going to be worth anything, all for the sole purpose of extracting value from them. This is not a voluntary exchange that's mutually beneficial. This is a ripoff planned and executed from start to finish. And it's really, really harmful to other creators on the internet who actually want to do things that aren't extracting money directly from their audience at their expense, who actually want to provide them content, who actually see a long-term future in what they're doing and want to build something for the future. Because when there's a legitimate creator that's actually going to follow through on whatever project they're actually going to do, they're going to be called into question based on the fact that these people have scammed their audience.
Dude, if I see $1 million, I'm selling. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna be like, I'll hold for you guys, bro. I see $1 million in my portfolio, I'm out.
You know, you guys don't know this because you're not in my head. You're not really seeing the back end of this YouTube channel, but we've been growing like crazy. And I know you can see the subscription count recently in my videos and how accelerated everything has been. And I couldn't be happier with the way this channel is going. And in fact, I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking about getting myself a bigger space to do a better show for you guys, because I want to save everything I earn now in order to build something for the future. And during the course of my thinking about the plans for the future, I thought about maybe going into crowdfunding. But the thing is, when I first started this channel, when I first uploaded a video on theinternet.com, when I first decided that I was going to be a YouTube sensation that's sweeping the nation, I decided that I was not going to do crowdfunding. I was like, nope, against it, not for it, not about it, because I don't want to be put in a situation ever where you guys feel like you're not getting the value that you put in back in terms of quality content. So I've never sought out or made promises based on the donations that I've received from you guys. I've always said your support is extra. You guys watching is more than enough for me. And this is why I still have not changed my position on crowdfunding in this channel. Now, this doesn't mean that if somebody legitimately crowdfunds an expansion of their operation, that there's something inherently wrong with that. But I think that I need to be able to operate this based on the revenue that it's generating, not based on something that people donate one time because they want to see something better. And hopefully you guys are impressed by the improvements I'm going to be making on the channel going forward. I genuinely believe that it is on content creators, YouTubers, Twitchers, everybody to make sure that people like Ice Poseidon and their actions are considered the exception and not the rule, not the norm of conduct on all these platforms. This is why from within, I have to start projecting out this perception to you guys, because everything, and I mean absolutely everything, comes down to the individual, and you can only start at home with yourself in order to make the standards known to everybody else. This is why my entire expansion of the operation, which might take a little bit longer, is going to be on me, not on all of you, because whether justified or unjustified, I don't want to be labeled in the same category as that person. But it's also on people in the audience to be skeptical and to not buy into these overtly ridiculous scams. I know you guys like a lot of people on the internet. I know a lot of you like my channel. I know a lot of you support me on my channel. But remember, I'm doing okay. I have sponsors in almost every one of my videos, and my views, subscriptions, all that stuff is up. During the course of this pandemic, I've seen nothing but improvement in my income and all the other things around in my life, except for obviously some personal tragedies, which I don't want to get into. So don't worry about me. Don't try to save me. Don't try to give me money that you need way more for yourself and for your family than I actually need it. It is okay to watch the videos. It's okay to hop in the Discord. If you're not a patron or anything like that, it's open to the public, and eventually everything gets provided free. Now, I have a ton of videos for early access for my patrons and subscribe star people and all that, but that's really it. I have t-shirts for sale if you are interested in them, but again, that's really it. It's not about extracting as much capital from you guys as humanly possible. If you just watch the videos, there's ads running in it, and that's good enough for me. All you have to do is see the ads, and hey, you can skip them after 15 seconds. Watch YouTube in the most convenient way that you actually want to watch them. And by the way, these creators that are doing very, very monetizable content, that are getting millions of views, that are getting higher CPMs, higher RPMs than people like me, should not be hustling money out of you in the way that they're doing, because everything that they're doing, premium sponsors, premium advertisements from YouTube, premium level views, should be enough for them to sustain themselves, should be enough for them to make money like $250,000 easily in a year. It is fine to believe in somebody, it is fine to believe in someone, and I understand that people actually form communities around the content creators that they watch. But here's the thing, once you meet those like-minded people, once you form the community and all that, the person who actually was the catalyst, who was the initiation point for that community being formed, is actually not that relevant. We've seen a lot of creators fall time and time again due to scandal, due to bad behavior, due to similar, and the audience members jump in and they defend them viciously and attack anybody who goes after them vociferously. But the thing is, they're attacking them based on not the idea that they believe in that creator being morally right in this obvious situation when they're wrong. They attack them based on the idea that they've made connections with the community and they don't want that to go away. You can keep that separate from the creator. You guys are free to form a community, even if you met in the chat or whatever in the Discord of AJW, and enjoy that for yourselves long after you've decided that you hate me because I have glasses and you're against people wearing glasses. What's wrong with you? I literally need them to see why you're hating so hard. The reason I'm such a capitalist is because I believe in voluntary association and mutual benefits. I want you guys to benefit in some way, whether it's more knowledge, whether it's entertainment, whether it's whatever, from the videos that I'm making. This is why when you hop in my Discord, we talk about movie stuff, we talk about random stuff, and it's always just a nice conversation in there. Not like I'm in for the conversation, because I told you this is a show, not a conversation, but a lot of times we end up going into debt management and we end up talking through the problems that many of you out there in the audience have. We talk about credit, how to build it up, all these other things that are so separated from politics, because personal finance is something that I'm also very interested in, and I think it actually has more impact on your life than monitoring what's going on in the political scene. This is why I've walked members of family, members of my friend group through credit and getting themselves out of debt, because I truly believe that once you seize control over your income, all the other problems, or most of the other problems in your life, will slowly fade away and turn into solutions, will get better. So yeah, join the Discord, join the community. Don't donate to a GoFundMe in my name. If I ever change my position in the future, then future me is a bad guy. I'm going to be funding any expansion of my operation out of my own pocket, and you guys just watch the content. We're not going to be like Ice Poseidon, and if I ever, and I mean ever, tell you that I got this new crypto that I'm launching and you give me all the power and I can extract all the money and don't worry about it, I'm totally not going to rip you off. Even if it's me, the most trustworthy man in the United States of America, don't believe it. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of Ice Poseidon's scam? I'm assuming you're against audience members being scammed by creators, so you can let me know that, even though that should go without saying. But overall, what do you think about crowd-funded expansions and the reputation that creators have for not delivering the value that a lot of the people who donate to those crowd-funded expansions actually expect from those creators? Again, leave all the comments in there, like the video, share, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. This has been me talking about the thing. Till next time.